It's Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. For their details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Wayne Miller.
This is It's Movie Time.
It sure is.
Wayne?
Yes?
The film today is The Queen of Katwe.
Yes.
This is by acclaimed director Mira Nair. Now, it's also produced by Disney.
Yes.
Tell me the conjunction between this story of an African chess prodigy and reality.
Well,
like we haven't talked about this before. But
a review I was reading, I think it was Entertainment Weekly, and said, as soon as you see the Disney logo at the beginning of the movie, expect some wooden platitudes, some homilies, some hard lessons learned in life. But I tell you, I was intrigued with this movie on two levels. One, it showed me a side that I've read about but never really have seen in movies, and that's the slum life in these major cities in Africa. Wow, that was an eye-opener.
And it would remind you a bit of Slumdog Millionaire.
Yes, yes.
Now, Nair has done Monsoon Wedding,
yes,
Salam Bombay,
yes,
and Mississippi Masala.
Yes, and that was her first feature film direction, and my God, it was a long time. It was like early 90s, 91, I think. So that was she's been around quite a bit.
Now, my feeling is that she tends to romanticize the surroundings. Now, she's lived for 3 decades in Uganda, so
Yeah.
it's not like she does not know it. But I was fishing for what you opened up with the colorful,
Yes,
and happy poverty.
oh, that's a good point to put. The happy poverty of these people that I'm looking at them thinking they're turned out of this like shack that was put together by spare wood out of
Yes.
Off the streets. It was amazing.
Yes.
Some of the things as they go around, and the kids are illiterate, they don't go to school, and they sell spices and maize and other things on the street, and you get a really good sense about that. The other level that the movie works for me,
Mm-hmm.
I recently read an article about a guy and his 4-year-old daughter who together learned chess, and the whole aspect of chess, and reminded me of one of my favorite movies that I really enjoyed from I think 1993, Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Right.
Once again, a true story of a chess prodigy who did not, it wasn't like they were from early age, their parents taught them chess and really, piled a lot of stuff about chess strategy and reading about chess. It was something they naturally picked up by looking at it, learning the pieces, learning the board, and then it was almost an innate ability to figure out moves in advance. And it was amazing. And now, here's the thing. And another movie we recently saw, and you reviewed on the show, that I thought was superb, Sully. And once again, what they call the dramatic conflict, that they have to put something out there.
Sure.
And I remember in Bobby Fischer the same thing. The kid became such a chess genius that after a while he did not learn to love the game, and that's what was happening here. And I don't know how much of that is really fictionalized, made up.
Well, yeah. Now, little Fiona,
Yes.
who is somewhere, I think we start somehow around when she's 9 years old, but and then it takes us through. It must be at least 5 years till she
Yeah.
wins the Junior Chess Championship of Uganda. But you're reminding me that she was illiterate when she started.
Yes.
And her ability to even beat her teacher so well played
Yes.
by David Oyelowo,
Yes.
who had also played, also starred in Martin Luther King
Yes.
and some other films, a fine actor. And so, in other words, we have a lot of untested actors in this film.
Yes.
But we do have two very fine actors
Yes.
in the center.
The mother,
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes, right.
And,
As Oscar winner for
Yes.
12 Years a Slave.
And a newcomer, the young lady who played
Fiona.
Fiona.
And so the story, and apparently true, is not only does she become a chess prodigy, she also learns to read.
Yes.
And it goes back to my other observation about this Disney film, is when you put together the colorful, beautiful clothing that they wear, and I know
Yes.
this is true of Africans, so I'm
Yes.
not saying it doesn't true, but they blaze out of this screen, and everything is so clean, considering that,
Almost like jewels dropped in a mud pile.
Yeah.
In a way, because of the overpowering poverty that they live.
Yes, right.
in. And that it made me think like, oh, how lucky we are, how lucky our children
Sure,
are
yeah.
to live in a society we do, that even though, obviously there's a lot of poverty in the U.S., but still nothing that like what they would go, that all of a sudden they almost lose like one of the little kids because of a flood.
Right.
In this place that,
there you go, nice,
an abandoned building.
good example of the other end and what I had more expected. But look at Queen of Katwe is a lovely story based on truth that is a really fine family entertainment.
Yes.
As long as you realize that it might not have been quite this lyrical.
Lyrical, or we saw some conflicts between the mother and the kids.
Sure.
And the mother with this chess coach and whatever, but everybody else is just kind of very happy. Now what I really is kind of thinking about, if his wife was as understanding, as she is portrayed in the movie, because of them bringing these kids in. They
brought the kids in to live with them,
which they still do in real life.
Yeah, right. And he was one of the advisors for the film, Robert Katande.
Yes.
But the way that David plays him is superb and very much even keeled. The very supportive teacher.
Yes.
It
inspirational.
Inspirational for sure. And he takes them out of that village.
Yes.
And mom's contention, and it's a really good one, and how many parents that faces, is if you take her away, can she ever come back?
Yeah, very good point, because that's one of the things I was thinking about, as she has a taste of a better life.
Yes.
And it made me think of other movies and other situations where somebody is kind of taken out of their comfort zone and shown a better life, but then when they have to go back, there was a good telling scene when she's in one of these shacks that they live in, and she looks around, because after experiencing her first plane ride and a hotel room and all these other things,
This is Fiona.
she goes around. Yeah, Fiona. They take her around to these chess tournaments, and now she's back and she's looking around where they're living, and it's kind of like, is that a disservice? That and it's been explored sometimes in some movies, and this one I really like.
It is a cliche,
Yeah.
but it is also a truth of life.
Yes.
How can you show her the finest education in the country where they go to play chess? And how can you not show her, even when she visits her teacher's home?
Yes.
Yeah. How could she not be affected by it? How could any human being not be affected by it? And I think this actress plays her so well that she's not bitter. She just wants to move on.
Yes.
And given her intelligence, there's no reason why she shouldn't.
I think there were several times in the movie that you get the sense of even the socioeconomic stratas in a country like Uganda, when they talk about the city kids as opposed to the slum kids, or the kids who are raised out in the bush,
Right.
in the villages, and how some of the more well-off kids look down their noses at these other the
Yes,
slum
yes,
kids,
yes.
and also the one, like, it talks about how Robert earned money to pay for his tuition at the university, when he would play chess against the city kids who just kind of thought, oh,
Right.
this is a country bumpkin.
And he even played football
Yes.
to make money.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Now, one thing you don't see is any of the slaughter that I've heard about in Uganda, any of the hostilities among tribes,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You see absolutely none of that in this
Right.
film. And I don't
Right.
think Nair is interested in that. I think she is interested in a very positive, beautiful,
Yeah.
colorful expression of the best side of
Yes.
Uganda.
Well, here, that's an interesting point because one thing, because as I was driving home after seeing the movie last night, that this was the country of Idi Amin, and all
Thank
the
you. Wow.
all those
That
problems,
throws
the
me back.
slaughter and
Whoa.
things like that, and not only tribal warfare, but also there's a sizable population of Asians from India and Pakistan who live in Uganda, and you really don't see any of that,
Right.
type of thing. And about the only white people that you wind up, Caucasians, that you wind up seeing in the movie or later when she's playing in a tournament, and I think
She
Moscow.
plays a Canadian girl.
Yes,
Yeah.
plays this very attractive Canadian
Yes.
girl.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I want to say that, and it'll tell in the grade that I'll give the movie, that I had a hard time accepting. You had mentioned that the movie spans about 5 years. I think it starts out in 2007, and the very last scene is in 2012.
Okay.
And that's when the book that the movie is based on.
Yeah, Tim Crothers.
It came out in
Yeah.
2012, and about this, and I'm thinking, you really don't see, except for the youngest kid in the movie, the youngest kid in the family, none of the kids age, and this was kind of startling because you and I both
That's
remarked
great. That's a good point.
at the during the end credits, two really interesting things happened. One, they showed side by side the actor and the real life person
Yes.
that they were playing.
Yes.
And that's what was very startling for me. In some instances, how different. And because this is 2016, so it's like only 4 or 5 years after the main part of this movie takes place, and how these kids, have they really grown up that much? No, So that was the one thing that kind of rang slightly false. And then the last thing that I thought, I really encourage people to stay through to the credits, not only because of seeing the real life
Right.
people the movie's based on, but also a very interesting kind of MTV style a video. A
Oh, yeah.
music video.
Music video.
Yes, of
It's
one
great.
of the little catchy songs
I
about
love it.
space.
Spicy.
Yes, and it was very good, and it was very interesting.
Well, The Queen of Katwe,
Yes.
directed by Mira Nair, and taken from the ESPN magazine article and book by Tim Crothers. What grade would you award it, Wayne Miller?
Well, as I was really battling between John DeSando, the white, for the viewing or the listening audience, I brought
Right.
a little chess set and a little prop, but we got a black queen and the white king. So, John, I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Oh,
I enjoyed the movie. There were certain things though that I agree with the other reviews that I've read
Yeah.
that.
and I think it's pretty clear that I enjoyed the film, but I'm awarding it a B. And let us say that even though we haven't given it an A,
Yes.
it is a film worthwhile seeing, particularly for a family and for young
Yes.
people and young women. It borders enough on reality, I think,
Yes.
that you wouldn't be ashamed to bring a child to something that was way pumped up.
Both inspirational as well as I think educational,
Yeah.
because you learn a lot about chess and the country, the slums of Uganda.
Oh yeah.